Hi everyone, and welcome to Weekly Cooking with Becky. Today we are making soup. We are actually going to be making normally you would have them as stuffed peppers, but we're gonna unstuff them. So it's like an unstuffed pepper soup. So if you've got kids or people who like all of the different flavors, but maybe they like to eat the inside of the stuffed pepper, but they leave the pepper out. I have one of those. I've come up with different things over time. I have my own unstuffed pepper casserole, and I don't know if that's on YouTube or not. That one's a my creation. Now this one is from Wholesome Yum. Her description will be in the link below. She is not using an Instant Pot. So if you have a regular stovetop, just a big Dutch oven or a big pan that you can use on your stovetop, you can follow her instructions. I'm gonna tell you just right here how to do it on an Instant Pot. So currently right now what I have is 2 pounds of ground beef and 3 medium bell peppers and 2 cloves of garlic with a tablespoon of olive oil. I have all of that going right now and getting browned. I've diced the green peppers, and it's just the minced garlic, the olive oil, and the meat. So I'll go ahead and aim this down at you. And you'll see, I just started this maybe a couple minutes ago. This is the good thing about an Instant Pot. I can show you pretty quick. So everything is happening pretty quickly. While this goes, I can let this go for a minute. When I'm done, I'm gonna do my trick with degreasing. If you've seen in previous videos, I'm gonna use my napkins. I'm gonna stick them in there, use the tongs, pull them out and put them in a pan. I don't even have to have a grease jar for that, and it just goes right into the trash. You are going to want 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, 2 teaspoons of sea salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I just put that in a bowl. It's all ready to go. You're going to want 2 cups of water. You're going to want 2.5 cups, preferably, of beef bone broth. That's what they're requesting. Bone broth has a little higher sea salt, the correct sodium content. Not a beef broth, but a bone broth. Now, if you're at a store and you cannot find bone broth, then go ahead and get beef broth, but get the low sodium kind, and add an extra 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, because that's the thing, is we want the sea salt in there. So just a little note on that. If you find bone broth, great. If you don't, use the beef broth, but then add an extra 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. Okay, you're gonna want 2 cans of diced tomatoes, petite diced tomatoes, and 1 29-ounce can of just tomato sauce, 1 12-ounce bag of riced cauliflower at room temperature. So when I got home from work today, I went ahead and got that sitting out on the counter so it wouldn't be frozen by the time we cook. I'm going to finish browning the meat, then I'm gonna degrease it, and then we're gonna assemble it, and then I'll tell you just simply how you cook it in an Instant Pot. Like I said, if you want to do it on the stovetop, you absolutely can. And by the way, I'm not advertising, but these are great. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had hit water. I'm trying to really make sure I'm upping to 10 lately. I've been drinking 8, but I've been noticing I'm a little bit more thirsty, so I do one of these a day as well. 0 calories, 0 sweeteners, but they're flavored, no carbs. So anyways, just throwing that out there. I'm gonna finish with this. I'll be back in just a minute to show you how we layer everything into an Instant Pot or any pressure cooker, guys, any pressure cooker. And then, like I said, follow the link and it will have the instructions for cooking it on a regular stovetop as well. I'll be right back to put everything else into the pan. Okay, so I should probably put the scissors down. So we have everything ready, and now it is just simply time to just assemble. So when you are Instant Pot cooking, you always want to deglaze. So you're gonna take the 2 cups of water. So I'm going slightly out of the order of the way the recipe states. The 2 cups of water are in the recipe, but I'm gonna do it first because and I'm still on saute, by the way. I did not turn the saute function off. You just want to get any of those bits. If you have anything stuck at the bottom of the Instant Pan, you want to get those bits nice and loosened so that you don't get a burn notice. I've had an Instant Pot now for like 3 years, and I've had a burn notice one time. So it's pretty rare. Okay, I'm gonna literally show you how we're going to assemble this. So I've told you everything that we need. First things first, I'm just gonna dump and then I'll kind of pour it down for you to see. First things first, I always stir. Anybody who knows me, stir my seasonings in before I go crazy adding everything else, because I want to make sure all of the meat has all of the seasonings. Normally, I would have done this in the step with the peppers and with the garlic, except that I was using an 80-20, which is a higher fat meat, and I knew I was gonna drain off a lot. So because of that, I didn't. Otherwise, I would normally have put the seasoning in right then and there so that I wouldn't lose any. So I'm doing it at this point, and now we're gonna start adding. So let me go ahead and open up my 12 ounces. So I've got my 12 ounces here, and I will tilt this down just a minute. I'm just gonna show you. So I'm just dumping the whole entire bag. I'm not gonna even stir just yet. Bone broth. Because it is bone broth, I don't need to add the extra salt. I can just follow the recipe as is, which already has the 2 teaspoons. 2.5 cups. 2.5 cups. Or no, sorry, just plain 2 cups. I was thinking chili because I made that a few days ago. It's been a little bit cold here in our neck of the woods. So that'll be a total of 4 cups of liquid. So 2 cups of bone broth, and then save this. This can save for a couple weeks, and if you're like me, I did just make some chili. I'll be able to use this broth, the remaining of it, with something else. Okay. So what I'm going to tell you now is you never ever stir tomato sauce. So we are going to give the cauliflower rice, the water, and the beef broth all a stir. So everything except for the tomato is going to be nice and stirred. That's when you get your burn notice. You don't want tomato to ever hit the bottom of an Instant Pot or any pressure cooker. And that's the one time I did it, because I stirred it and I was like, crud, and I tried getting it out. Okay, once you've got it all stirred, I'm leaving it on saute because we need to bring this back to a boil. At this time, I am going to just simply, laying it on the top, take those 2 14.5 ounce cans of diced tomatoes with the liquid. Please do not drain. Just kind of letting them plop on the top, trying really hard not to let them crash too hard because I don't want them to get to the bottom. So there's one. And here comes 2. And last but not least, 1 29 ounce can of tomato sauce. And I'm just gonna kind of drizzle this all along the top here. Okay, I am done stirring. I'm just in watch mode. So really quickly, in here, 2 pounds of meat, 3 bell peppers. This was the first step. 3 bell peppers, 2 cloves of garlic, a tablespoon, of olive oil. I took care of all of that. I degreased. Then I added 2 cups of water. I added in a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, 2 teaspoons of sea salt, and a teaspoon of black pepper, stirred it through. Then I added an additional 2 cups of bone broth. And I also stirred that through with the cauliflower rice. You've got everything in here that you would for stuffing a pepper. On top, I have added on the 2 14.5 ounce cans of the diced tomatoes and then 1 29-ounce can of the sauce. Now I'm just waiting for the bubbles, and I can tell it's simmering. I don't know if you can tell that here, but it's simmering. So it's really, really close, guys. So for Instant Pot, 7 to 9 minutes is usually the trick on any soup if you have the soup function. So 7 to 9 minutes, you can pick any one of these. This is not nearly as heavy as a chili. So chili, I normally go more like a 9. I'm probably gonna go more to 7 on this one. So I'll set it for 7, and then you natural pressure release for 10. So it'll be a total of 17. And then it'll be ready to go. Most stuffed peppers, people like to top with cheese, and sometimes you serve it with sour cream. And I have shredded cheese and sour cream ready to put on top of our soup when we serve it. So you can do things like that. But this way, you don't have to worry about if certain people would eat everything but the pepper, because there's gonna be bites of everything. And you don't have the rice, you've got the cauliflower rice, everything is keeping it low carb. So I'm gonna let this boil. Once I see it just starting to boil, 7 minutes at the high pressure on soup. So set it for the highest pressure on soup. Natural pressure release for 10 minutes, and then do the quick release, and we'll be back here. Otherwise, stovetop it is. And I'll be back to show you the finished product. All right, look at that. It looks so good, but I gotta tell you, it's way too hot for me to hold. I'm just gonna try to sneak a little bite here, grab a little piece of the cheese that I did add. It looks amazing, it smells delicious. It tastes like stuffed peppers, but it's a soup. So it's a win-win, and on nights like this when it is so cold, just absolutely fantastic. So I really hope you guys enjoy this. Cold weather, I would say even warm weather. I mean, have soup any time of year. I definitely love topping it with cheese and sour cream. Top it however you want, or don't top it at all. But this is great. It makes 8 servings. So do enjoy, have it for leftovers, and I will see you next time. Bye.